How can I change my life and be happy? A huge question that is hard to answer. I'm gonna do my best to do that today. And again, everything I say in these videos is my subjective experience, but it's just shared to hopefully help you guys, and maybe I can provide some of the things I do or how I think, and maybe it can be helpful to you, and that's why I make these videos. My name is Chris Richardson. I'm a coach here at Life on Your Terms, and we make videos here so you can do exactly that. You can live a life on your terms. So how can I change my life and be happy? As I said earlier, it's a difficult question to answer, but I think I have three main points that goes over just high level, maybe some things you can try to employ. So the first thing is mindset, then what action can you take? And then I'm gonna talk about my experience with kind of both of those things and how I approach this question. So first thing, mindset. I think the first thing that you have to recognize by asking this question is that this question implies that your current life is not enough. And I think that can be dangerous to often think that. It's okay to want change. It's amazing to want change. But to think, how can I change my life and be happy? To me, communicates that it's communicating your current life is not enough. So what I would encourage you to do is simply just change. I want more, but I'm gonna practice gratitude about what I do have about my life and not constantly cheer to change. I'm not saying you're doing that, but if you find yourself doing that, that can be dangerous. So to try to switch that mindset can be a little bit helpful to get you where you wanna go. So one thing that I had to really battle with in my perfectionism, at least, is what I had to switch that every time that I thought I did something wrong, so let's say I got a 99% on a test in high school or something like that, I'd only be focused on the 1%. So I'd be focused on what I did wrong. So what I had to do is, instead of what did I focus on, what did I do wrong, focus on what I did right. So what did I do right that got me that 99, for example? Or when I hit my PRs in the gym. So first time when I hit 500 on deadlift, I was super happy, but I thought about what do I need to do to get to 550 or 600? I was like, Chris, slow down. What am I doing right that got me to 500? Those reframes can kind of help you think differently and help you not imply that your current life is not enough, if that kind of makes sense. And again, this is just my experience, but this is what's been helpful for me to get through this and kind of how I've set my mindset and framework around these things. So the final thing you need to do is, after you kind of realize that I am grateful for my life, but I do want change, and that is a great place to be. And that is to finally embrace the change you want to make and be open to, yes, I am ready to change, because putting intention behind change is necessary to make that change. I'm gonna start my journey of change to change my life and feel better emotionally. So with that, you need to be open to facing your fears, because you're gonna have to overcome some things, and then open to new experiences, because that's when it's gonna change your life. So that's how I see mindset and what you can do to change your life related to it. That brings me to my second point of action. And this is where I would encourage you to take the balance wheel in the description below. We're gonna look at all areas of your life. It can hopefully highlight what you wanna change, because it looks at professional, relationships, health, and resources. And with those things, you're able to look at, oh, maybe I want to make a change to my health, or oh, I'm not dedicating enough time to my family. It can highlight some of the things and help you, give you direction on what you want to change. So with that, I would then encourage you also to seek support through your friends, family, and mentors. What I mean by this, talk about the changes you want to make with those close to you. They can give you great feedback and help you highlight maybe some of the changes you do want to make. And I would confide in those people. Don't keep it a secret. Share what you want to change, and share how you're maybe not happy with your current situation, and that's okay to be there, and you want to make a different situation, and that's amazing. From there, I would then encourage you to ask the question, what habits do I need to employ to make this change? What behaviors do I need to employ to have this happen? So if you want to be a person that goes to the gym 5 days a week, what does a person that goes to the gym 5 days a week do? How do they manage their time? How are they consistent? Things like that. Those are some kind of habits and behaviors you need to start looking at to make the changes that you want to make once you've identified what changes you want to make, and then work towards those. Then after you set those habits, set goals around the habits. So like I said, I'll use that gym example again. If you want to go 5 times a week, you'd set a goal. Hey, I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week. I'm going to wake up at this time, or I'm going to go at this time. Whatever it may be, set goals around that. I like to set quarterly objectives because then it breaks my year into 4 different parts. I find when I set yearly goals, it just sets, goals that I'm focused on the whole year. I feel like the year goes really fast. When I set quarterly objectives, I really think it breaks down the year into 4 chunks, and I feel like I get a lot more done. So that's what I like to do with it, at least. So that's action. Now I'm gonna just talk about my experience related to these 2 things. So just framework-wise and high-level-wise, I no longer cheer to end quote-unquote bad emotions. Frequently, people see sadness as a bad emotion or anger as a bad emotion, but I don't like to label it bad. It's just a human emotion. It's natural to feel. Now, I want to control those emotions. It's not okay for me to do everything or every instinct I have when I am angry, but I don't cheer to end those emotions. I just let myself feel. So the second part of that question is, how do I change my life and be happy? I wouldn't necessarily only focus on being happy. And that, now, again, this is my experience. This is how I see it. I don't only focus on being happy. I just see emotions as a byproduct of a certain situation I experience. That's simply it. It's a reaction. And sometimes anger can give me the energy I need to pull that lever to get more done. So that's why I don't cheer to end those emotions necessarily. And also what I found on the action side of things is consistency and actual action is the most important thing when it comes to changing your life. So often I'd be like, yeah, I'm making steps towards doing X, Y, or Z, but I wasn't really working on those things. I was just maybe looking them up online or doing something like that. I wasn't actually taking productive action. So for example, let's go fitness, because fitness is a really easy example. So maybe when I was starting to get into fitness, I'd be like, I'm gonna look up a workout plan, and then I'm gonna look up what I'm gonna eat, and then I'm gonna look up what's the best exercises to do. And then did I ever go to the gym? It took me maybe a little bit to go to the gym and stuff like that. And that action is more important. It's much more important to just go to the gym than look up all those things. Just go to the gym and go do it. That'll get you much further. So that's what I found, again, in my experience, that action and consistency are the most important over basically anything else. Over mindset too, because action and consistency are actually gonna move you forward. Stuff like that. So another final point is that, again, I don't see it as happiness. My metric I like to use is, am I making the most of my life? Because that question shows me that maybe I'll be angry to do work I don't want to do, or whatever emotion I may feel, but that would make me feel like I'm making the most out of my life. And then when I'm 100, looking back on it, I will know I made the most of my life, and I'll feel happy then, if that makes sense. I'll feel joyful. So again, guys, that's how I see this question. How you see it could be completely different, and that's okay. Again, I make these videos just so I can share how I'm thinking and what I do to answer these questions, and hopefully some of these things can be helpful for you too.